here we are, our Cleavers acetum. This is Cleavers. Let's dive in. Hi friends, so today we're going to be talking about some spring foraging, and up here in North Idaho, it's the perfect time for us to go out and start finding things. And we're going to talk about one special herb today I was able to gather a ton of. I'm so happy. This is Cleavers. So today we're going to be talking about the medicinal qualities and the benefits and uses of cleavers, a little bit about how to forage them, and also we'll talk about identification, but these are really easy to identify in the fields, and if you can find them in a clean spot, they're amazing. So let's dive into cleavers. I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead and the School of Botanical Arts and Sciences, and I'm so thrilled to be here to share herbs with you. So we here on this channel, as we talk a lot about herbs and essential oils and natural living and traditional living skills too. Today, we're going to talk about a good old standby from the Native Americans to ancient times to modern time. Let's dive in. The Latin name for this plant is Galium aparine, and it has a number of common names. It's a sticky plant. We'll talk a little bit about the botany in a second, but it's called goosegrass, it's called bedstraw. Actually, it's called bedstraw because people actually did use it to put in their mattresses. It forms a real thick mat, and I know if you were to gather a ton of it, you could layer it up and down. One legend I read said that it's possible that Mary used cleavers as part of the bedding for baby Jesus in the manger. So I'm just going to lay this out here. I'm trying to get the moisture off of it so that we can get it processed. But so it's pretty interesting. I love how the common names usually give you a clue as to how they were used in olden times. This is called sticky bobs is another name for it, which is fun. Robin run over the hedge, which I can totally see. It's a climbing vine, and it'll just climb, and the little leaves, which, let me see if I can find a good one here. The leaves are in whorls on the plant, and in whorls means they encircle the stem in a little group, and then about 2 inches up there's another little whorl, 2 to 3 inches, as long as the stem keeps going. The leaves have little sticky spurs on them, and so there's no stickiness, there's no fluid or anything like that. But the leaves, because of these little barbs that they have, they grab onto things, and they will actually grab you. It's like they're saying, "Hey, I'm here. Come pick me. I can help you," which I think is always fun. They're extremely nutritious. Cleavers are incredibly nutritious, and in the springtime, we can see this a lot. Like we're waking up out of our winter sluggishness, and it's time to get the body going, and we see all these spring weeds that start to pop up. Like I've been working with my dandelion flowers as well. I've got other herbs over here, violets and dead nettle, and I've got all these spring herbs, and they're full of nutritional value in the spring, which is so fun. Now, along with this, they have some benefits to the body. One of the benefits that cleavers has specifically is to the lymphatic system. And if you're not familiar with the lymphatic system, then you may or may not know that it's a system that is pumped almost manually, okay? So we have our circulatory system, which is our heart. We have a heart that goes in there and pumps the blood throughout our body. In the lymphatic system, which it has to flow or we die, things get stagnant. The way the lymph gets moved is through skin massage, dry brushing, exercise. It gets pumped because of the workings of the muscles. So it doesn't have an actual pump in the lymphatic system. So some herbs are called lymphatics, and they're exceptional for helping to move lymph, whether it's sluggish or whether it's not. It helps get it going throughout the body, and it cleanses the body that way. So cleavers is a very powerful lymphatic. By the way, other lymphatics to know, violet is one. It's wonderful. Calendula is another one. So violets are also coming up right now in the early spring, and that's part of what they do. One of the things that having a healthy lymphatic system does is it helps keep you cleansed. It helps to get rid of congestion in your body in general, and that's always a helpful thing. It helps to reduce swelling as well, and we'll talk a little bit more about edema in a minute, but cleavers being a lymphatic is related to that. Now, also related to this is that the fact that cleavers has a very powerful affinity to the kidneys, and the kidneys, of course, they help us get rid of excess toxins through the urine. What happens when we're ill or when the kidneys aren't functioning properly is our bodies retain fluid, and that's when we can get swollen legs, we get edema. If you wear socks and you take your sock off and you've got a little puffy area above it, probably not good. But cleavers can be helpful with this. These kidney supporting herbs, dandelion leaf is another one. Your dead nettles, your nettle leaves, those are all really good for your kidneys, and cleavers is exceptional. It's been a long time used for kidney health. Another one is the liver. We have a lot of issues that present on our skin, and some of these issues tell us that our liver might be having some trouble. Some of these issues are eczema, psoriasis, things of that nature. But cleavers can also be very helpful for supporting a healthy liver, and that in turn helps the skin. And let's go ahead and talk about the skin some more for a moment. In addition to internal use of cleavers being helpful for the liver and therefore the skin, also because of its high nutritional value, cleavers topically is wonderful for the skin. There's a lot of nutrition and chemical components in cleavers that make it very powerful as a topical. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when I get into what we're going to make with the cleavers. So stay tuned for that. And then I want to just mention urinary tract infections. Cleavers, it can be helpful as I like it as a supporting herb for urinary tract infections. There are some really powerful herbs I choose to be the more active herbs in a formula, like uva ursi, and there's others of that nature. Horsetail is another one. Corn silk are others. But I find that cleavers and other ones that can help with the lymphatic system too are helpful for kidneys. And I want to just mention here that the Native Americans used cleavers quite a lot for kidney issues and kidney support and things of that nature. One other thing that cleavers is great for in terms of the kidneys is if you have an overactive bladder. Cleavers can go to work and just help tone that condition down a little bit and just support a healthy flow, a healthy urinary system. Here's another traditional use that I found for cleavers, and I found this so fascinating. So my ancestry is from the Swiss Alps. A large part of our family come from the Swiss Alps, and I have a feeling that's why my parents named me Heidi. Which I think is cute, and I love the mountains. I've always been drawn to the mountains, which is where we live now. But anyway, in Switzerland especially, the cleavers in the spring are formed into a mat and actually used as a filter for the milk as they milk the cows, and it filters things out. But what's happening there is as the warm milk flows through the cleavers mat, the benefits of the cleavers are also getting into the milk. Isn't that amazing? I just think that's the neatest story. And then cleavers in traditional Chinese medicine is another one. Traditional Chinese medicine focuses on a few really wonderful herbs, and cleavers happens to be one of those. And it's to support healthy flow in the body, reduce stagnation, and it's a very strong anti-inflammatory, the way they use it in Chinese medicine. So you can see that if you take a little cleavers every day, or when springtime comes, if you're fortunate enough to get out there and see this plant growing, go ahead and go for it because it's really great. All right, let's talk about herbal preparations, and then I'm going to go ahead and do some preparating here. Didn't say that correctly, but all right. I'm going to set that aside for the compost. I'm just cutting off the roots and things like that. But cleavers can be made into herbal teas. And I have heard that cold infusions are really helpful with cleavers because there's a substance, there's a little bit of mucilage in here that can come out with a cold infusion, but a hot infusion will work really well too. Cleavers is full of vitamins and minerals, especially magnesium and calcium. Now, when there's a heavy mineral content in a plant, as cleavers has, usually a tincture is not the best because an alcohol, high alcohol especially, won't allow the plant to release the minerals. They're not really soluble in alcohol. They are soluble in water. They are soluble in vinegar. So we're going to be making today an herbal vinegar. I am going to tincture the cleavers as well because in terms of the lymphatic flow, cleavers tincture is also just really good. So you need to be able to know what you're going to be using the herbal preparation for. So you can choose to drink the tea and know that you're getting the nutrition, you're getting the lymphatics, you're getting the minerals out of the plant. If you want to go with the vinegar, you're going to have the minerals, you're going to have the nutrition as well. So vinegar is excellent. And then if you want a very long-term shelf-stable formula, a tincture works really well too. And you can actually take your simple tinctures and combine them with other things later, and that's really helpful. Another thing you can do with your cleavers is eat them. You can stick them in your salads and eat them fresh. You can juice them. A lot of people will juice them in the spring and enjoy those benefits. Those are some facts about tinctures. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and cut the stems. And it's the aerial parts you use, so it's going to be the stems and the leaves. And I'm just going to cut them about a half an inch to an inch in length. And you can see what I've got here is just this beautiful mass of herbs. And there was actually a thistle growing out there as well. And I think I got all the thistle parts out, but just gonna feel through these just to make sure. We're just gonna chop this up. Beautiful. And what you want to do if you are working with the fresh plant is you want to go ahead and fill the jar. Now, if you're in a very wet area and you have really moist cleavers, it's a good idea to just let them dry out a little bit for a day or so and then go ahead and chop them up. I actually just picked these a few hours ago and I feel like they're just fine. We are in a not super wet area up here in North Idaho where we're at, and so I think that's fine. But here we go. Get these on down here. No, but I have to tell you, we have an apothecary in town for the herbal business, and then we have our herb farm where we live up on the mountain. And cleavers doesn't grow up there where we're at. It's too high of an altitude, at least not very healthily. They'll get about this tall. So it's a little bit tedious picking them. But down here in town, I was just coming in today through the back door and I looked at the fence and there's all these cleavers. And I was like, hallelujah, this is amazing. I thought I'd go ahead and grab some and show you what to do with these. So here's my quart-sized mason jar filled with the fresh cleavers. And I'm going to go ahead and pour in my vinegar. And I think I'm going to go ahead and top this off with a little bit of glycerin as well, but not right this minute. I'm going to just wait on that. And then what I'm going to do after I just top it with the glycerin, and I'm going to do that because I want to make it a little bit sweeter. And also, the glycerin is a sugar alcohol. It's going to just help the extraction process of some of the compounds. And so that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. I think I've got enough cleavers out there. I'm just going to go ahead and make a pure glycerite later. Glycerite is when you use vegetable glycerin to be the solvent in your extractions. And nope, this is going to be a vinegar because I want to use this as a salad dressing. Okay, so I'm just going to let this soak and macerate. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go put it in the window a little bit so it gets hit with a tiny bit of sun, not too much heat. And this will be ready in about 4 weeks. And I'm very excited. By the way, I did use a plastic Tatler lid on this because the vinegar will degrade and corrode the metal, so you don't want that. That will mess up your tincture really fast. And now I'm going to go ahead and just finish chopping these and get my alcohol tincture done. But anyway, so now you know about cleavers, and I want to just mention to you that click through the video above. I've got some other foraging videos. I think I have a whole playlist on foraging, and I want to suggest that you take advantage of some of my old live chat recordings, because when I do those, people can get on there and ask me all kinds of herbal questions, and I'll answer as long as I'm legally allowed to. If it's a medical question, we're really not allowed to answer, because guess what? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm an herbalist. But go ahead and look through those playlists too. It's a great way to learn herbalism and enjoy herbal medicine from an herbalist on YouTube. And again, I do have a school, the School of Botanical Arts and Sciences. I would love to invite you to join us in a class. I will link below. We actually just moved our school from one platform to the other, or to a better one, and I'm so excited. It's beautiful. So we're just getting ready to do a grand opening. Shh, nobody knows yet. But yes, I'm really excited about that too. If you want to get a free herbal remedy guide and cheat sheet, be sure to look in the first pinned comment above. I'll have a link there, or also in the description. You can check where it says more, and then all these links will come up for you there too. All right, here we are, our Cleavers acetum.